Hey guys, I'm Ish and welcome to another 30-minute Align class with Version Active. This is Uzusipu who is joining me on the mat again, and we're going to start today in kneeling. So once we get nice and comfortable, we will be needing 2 blocks for this class. So if you do have some blocks or anything to prop yourself up with, whether it be books, any sturdy pillows, you're more than welcome to. If you're having trouble with your knees, you're more than welcome to place one of these support structures just in between your ankles to have the sitting bones nice and relaxed. No matter where you are, let's close the eyes, get nice and soft into our breath. We continue our theme of santosha, contentment, and acknowledging that for what it is and what it means to us today. Every day is a different journey, and everyone's journey is unique to themselves. So just acknowledge what this niyama means to you. This idea of being content with where we are, with being okay with the way that we feel. But most importantly, acknowledging that this is our space and our time. Gently bringing the right hand towards the belly, left hand onto the chest. As we keep the mouth closed and really activate this oceanic quality to our breath, our yogic breath. For those of us who do have any more advanced pranayama techniques, whether that be ujjayi breath or whatever it is to you, you are more than welcome to engage. But for the beginners, a strong breath practice is a good practice. So no matter what it is, as long as we stay focused towards our breath, this will be good enough for today's class. Let's stay here for just a few more rounds of breath. Continuing to lengthen our inhalations and then match that length with our exhalations as well. Really beginning to find this deep, broader space, giving our breath more texture and sensation. And gently now, my friends, when you are ready, you can blink the eyes open, and we're going to grab our blocks instantly here as we find a variation of the puppy stretch. So I want you to place your blocks on the level that works for you. So we're either going to use the highest level or the lowest level or the medium. So we're not going to be doing it exactly that way. We're going to be placing the elbows underneath the shoulders. So come back, Uzi. Come up for me. And just bring the blocks a little bit closer towards you. We're going to be placing the elbows on top of the blocks and then bringing the hands to prayer at the base of the neck. I want you to feel this gentle squeezing of the hands together as we relax the forehead down, squeezing shoulder blades, and just feeling the chest allow for the shoulders to open. So the more the chest sinks down, the more the shoulders engage. Notice the activation of the tricep and ensure that the knees are below the hips. Let's stay here for another 3 to 4 breaths. This can be quite taxing, my friends, so if those of you would like to maybe change your levels or give yourself a chance to maybe find what works for you, remember that this is your practice, this is your time. Gently now, we come forward with our body weight once again, and then with control, we're just going to take one block away and then the other. Meeting in tabletop pose, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips at hip width distance apart. Gentle spinal alignment now, or it should be spinal opening as we move through some cat and cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift your gaze, cow pose. And then exhale, rounds us into the spine, chin to the chest. We go 2 more. Inhale, cow pose, drop the belly, maybe a slight bend in the elbow, lift up the gaze. And then exhale, cat your spine, chin towards the chest, really push the mat away, lift the upper back. One more time. Inhale, cow. Exhale, round cat pose. Let's come to a neutral spine. And from here, we move into forearm plank, my friends. So we bring our forearms down. I like to have my palms down onto the ground for this. Hands are separated as we work into some very important alignment cues. So if you feel like you are on the spongy part of your forearm, I want you to roll your arms in and feel this magnetic squeezing of the elbows towards each other. Stay active into your hands here, my friends, as you engage into the four corners of your strength, from shoulders all the way down to elbows, elbows then down to fingers. Suck belly in. We are just here for one more breath. And then as we exhale, we come onto side forearm plank. So come onto the outside blade of your right foot, inside blade of the left. Place your left hand onto your hip. Stay nice and strong onto that right arm for 2. 1. Onto the other side, forearm side plank onto the left hand side now, onto the forearm of the left side, coming onto the outside blade of that left foot inside of the right. You can bring your feet together if you like. You can find any other supported variations of this. Just for another 2. And 1. And then gently back down, forearm plank for 2 more breaths. Hold as we build this Pitta energy within our bodies, as we ignite that flame, stoking the fire with our breath. Gently with control, lower your knees down, and child's pose as we take 2 breaths. Feel that release into your hands, sink the hips down towards the heels. We are not here for long, my friends, but just an opportunity to take some weight off the arms, as it can be quite taxing. When we are ready, downward facing dog. As we come into our first downward dog for today's class, as always, my friends, just like that first sip of orange juice after we brush our teeth, it can feel or taste a little bit funny. So acclimatize yourself to this posture. Take your time. We don't just walk outside and feel the sun against our face and immediately feel comfortable. Sometimes maybe there's a slight heat change within the body, and we need to acknowledge that and just move slowly into it. So find any movement that feels good for you. But once we are ready for some stillness, I want you now to focus into this upside down V shape. Heels towards the ground, bend the knees if the hamstrings are a bit tight. All of our weight is in the inner line of the thumb and index, my first knuckle, as I push the mat away, really feeling myself try to rip the mat apart from both feet and hands. Let's move into our first sequence, shall we? When you are ready, step the right foot in between your hands, find your lunge. Back knee down, hands rise, we come to Ajayasana, the crescent moon. Gentle sinking of the hips towards the floor. Let's pull the right hip back, release the left hip forward. For today's class, we're going to be focusing into a very traditional version of this posture, as I'd love to get into the shoulder opening. So bringing your hands to prayer above your head, I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together as you begin to lift up your gaze, really pointing the hands towards the ceiling. We are here for another 2 breaths. Let's take an inhalation here. Exhale, hands towards the floor. Find your lunge. Standing splits now. We come all the way up with the left leg in the air. Now you can utilize your blocks if you like, as you just place one in front of your gaze. Or you could utilize both, whatever works for you. I'm not too concerned today about rotating your hip down. You can open it up and really lift it up as high as you like. Let's take our final breath here. And as we exhale now, Chapasana, I'm going to bend into my left knee and gently grab hold of that left foot with my left hand. Once I have my left foot, I'm going to focus now on opening up my hip as I pull the heel towards the sitting bones. Utilize the block Take your time as you find your balance. Relax. It's all good. It's all good. Take your time. Let's try once again. Find your bind. I've got you here right behind you. Focus now on opening up your chest. Now I know not everybody has me, but you find your opportunity for balance, my friends. Gently now release. And we meet back in downward facing dog. Take your time, guys. You can find any way back that you like. Always remember that within Chapasana, we want to try and open up our hip the best that we can. But if, like Uzi today, you may be struggling with a little bit of balance, you can close off your hip. As long as we have that thigh activation, this is perfectly fine. Child's pose when you are ready. Stay nice and soft into your breath. Release hands. And before we move on to the other side, just give yourself this opportunity to rest. Gently now, downward facing dog. And we move to the other side. Left foot in between the hands. Find your lunge. Back knee down, hands rise. Ajayasana. The crescent moon. Lovely sinking of the hips now towards the floor. Pulling the left hip back, release the right hip forward, engage into your inner thigh. We bring the hands to prayer now above the head. And as we inhale, release your chest forward as we lift up the gaze, really diving into that back bend. We take an inhalation here. Exhale, hands come down towards the ground. With lovely control now, standing splits, we come all the way up. Utilize the blocks if you did so on the other side. And sometimes we don't need to go all the way up 100%. We can maybe go about 60 to 50, but staying our best to be engaged into that standing left leg, feeling the kneecap suck in and then pull up. Two more breaths here. Gently now. Let's find Chapasana. I'm bending into that back knee, planting my left hand, whether it be on the block or on the ground. Right hand now grabs the right thigh. Now it's important here, guys. As you can see, Uzi's hip is closed. My intention is to open up that hip and then pull the heel towards the back of the thigh. Steady with your breath. Last one. Gentle release, and in your own calm way, you can meet me in downward facing dog. It does not matter how you get there, guys. There is no pretty way or beautiful way. There's only your way. Child's pose when you are ready. Once again, just utilizing this opportunity to find your breath. And it's not like it's not like it has gone anywhere, my friends. But it's more about just rediscovering. When you are ready, downward facing dog. We keep moving. Right foot in between the hands, find your lunge. Warrior 1 is my inhalation. Back heel down, hands come to rise. And then nice and soft into the exhale. Keep pulling the right hip back, release the left hip forward. Feel that driving of the left thigh down as we pull the right hip into its socket. Belly sucks in, floating ribs engaged. Now, interlace your hands behind your back, and I really want to squeeze my scapula together here. Allow for the shoulder blades to work towards the medial line. Take a breath here. And then humble your warrior. That is the exhale. Right shoulder on the inside of the right knee. I want to feel the pinky side of my hand lift up and forward as I continuously square off my hips here, guys. So I'm pulling the right hip back, releasing the left hip forward. Breathe into that hip flexor on the right hand side. Stable and soft into your breath. Release your bind now. Inhale brings me back up, warrior 1. And then as we exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Find your lunge. Step it back for me to high plank. and you lower all the way down onto your belly. Sphinx pose now, elbows underneath the shoulders, gentle lifting up of your chest. Feel the shoulder blades once again squeezing towards each other and then down and away from the ears, searching for that little bit of a deduction of the scapula together. In other words, retraction, excuse me. Now we're going to move from here into forearm plank and we're going to pulse it. So tuck the back toes. Inhale, push up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Last one. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Very nice, guys. Downward facing dog. This is where we meet. You can hold it here, my friends, just for 2 breaths as we move on to the other side. Left foot in between the hands, find your lunge. Warrior 1 now, we come all the way up, back heel down. So the more we move into these postures, guys, the more you give yourself that chance to really feel what we need to be feeling. So I want to bend into my front knees. I'm engaging into thigh and calf. I'm pulling my hips back, so I'm really feeling that squeezing of the hip flexor. Length into your diaphragm. Hands are stacked above shoulders, shoulders above hips. And gently now, let's interlace the hands behind the back. Maybe you use a different grip. Maybe your less dominant grip is on top. Utilize your inhalation now for length as we lift up the chest. And then humbling the warrior is the exhale. Come all the way down, left shoulder on the inside of the left knee. The crown of the head is relaxed, so I'm gazing either towards the back of my room or thigh. I'm squeezing my inner thighs together, and that's really helping me with balance to stay connected and grounded. Two more breaths here. Last one. Very nice, guys. Release your bind. Inhale brings me back up, warrior 1. And then exhale, hands down towards the ground. Find your lunge. Step it back to the high plank. And we lower once again all the way down onto our bellies as we find Sphinx pose once again. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Activate the tops of the feet. We're not here for long. You guys know where we are going. So let's tuck the back toes. We're going to pulse this one 5 times now. When you are ready, inhale up, forearm plank. Exhale down. 4 more. Inhale up and down. Up and release. 2. Up and down. 1. Up. And we're going to hold it here, guys. Give me 30 seconds. That's all I need. Squeezing the inner thighs together, allowing elbows to work towards each other as we push away through shoulders and hands. You guys are halfway there. Two, 1, and down we come. Child's pose is where we meet. Big toes to touch, knees as wide as the mat, and let's get nice and soft. Now, for those of you who might have didn't notice, you might have seen it in the thumbnail or maybe on what this class is called. But I didn't mention that we're working into inversions today, and there's a reason for that. Inversions, my friends, can be quite challenging. They can be a hill that some of us will never climb, maybe an ocean that some of us will never swim, because it can be intimidating. And when things are intimidating, my friends, we either just run away from them, or we just try to avoid them the best that we can. I'd like to show you guys today how an inversion can be done simply, safely, and give us that experience of having our heart center above the head. And that is what we'll be working on today. Dolphin pose is a very great way for us to experiment with that. So let's see how we can do it. When you are ready, downward facing dog. So utilizing everything that we've done today, we've opened up the hamstrings, we've released through the shoulders, we've allowed the chest to expand and really activated into the forearms. And that's what we're going to do today. When you are ready, one elbow at a time, down. Now, I'm not walking my feet yet. I've got this wide little downward facing dog energy, so my legs are still quite towards the back of my mat and my elbows are down onto the ground. If you're really struggling here, guys, this should be your posture for today. Let's not move from here. Let's focus into the same energy as forearm plank. Elbows squeezing in, working into the lateral lines of our body as we push the floor away with our elbows. Now, for those of you who want to take this further, let's take one step forward. Notice how your body feels. Is this your edge? Can you take it even further? Let's see if we can take one more step forward. Once you are at your edge, guys, either your heels are down or you feel like you don't have the flexibility to move anymore, this is where we are going to hold. Option to stay here. Option to lift your right leg up. Hold. Right leg down. Left leg up. Hold. Just 2 breaths here. Left leg down. Child's pose. Knees down. Release arms and relax. No matter where you were, guys, within that short sequence, I want you to acknowledge the place where you were the most comfortable. So when we do this again, you just go back to that same place and build from there. Instead of trying to push yourself to a place where maybe your body doesn't want to go or not ready yet, we give ourselves a chance to just explore and see where we are at the moment. So now Uzi's probably a little bit tired, so we're going to push her just a little bit more, guys. And maybe you got that same feeling and you just want to push yourself as well. Let's work on that Pitta energy as we stoke that flame, my friends. Let's work. Up we come. Dolphin pose. Find your space. We are only here for another minute, guys. When you are ready, right leg up. Hold. Breathe and stay controlled. Right leg down. Left leg up. Feel the sensation of your heart center above your head. Feel the lymph drain. Breath and down. Well done, my friends. Child's pose. We come all the way back down. Soften. Forehead to the ground. Very nice, guys. Nice and controlled. Nice and soft. When you are ready, let's come meet in a nice comfortable seated position. Extend your legs forward. And happy thoughts to your yoga teacher at all times. When you are ready, right knee into the chest. We find Ardha Matsyendrasana, half kingfish. So just take your foot over the left, and then the left heel comes towards the right sitting bone. Now we've got options here, guys. You can find the easy option, which is just extending the left hand forward and wrapping it around the front of the knee. Or we can find length up with the hand, getting the elbow outside of the knee, really deepening your stretch. Utilize inhalations to find length into the spine. And as we exhale, twist by just pulling your torso around, keeping your gaze nice and steady. Trying for your head not to be the guide here. Utilize your chest. High five. Take a breath here. Counter twist now over towards the left hand side. Take your time. There's no rush, guys. Come back to center. And we're going to do this on the other side now. Flip your legs around. It is now left knee into the chest. Take it up and over the right leg. Right heel towards the left sitting bone. Find your posture, guys, whether I'm going towards the front of the left knee or my elbow outside of the knee. Utilize any variation within this posture that you know or that you like. And inhalation is there for length. Exhale is there to deepen your twist. For those of you who are struggling for a little bit of balance, you just activate your bottom right foot, a little bit of dorsiflexion there. It'll give you an opportunity to stay rooted into your sitting bones and Just find a better twist. Last breath here. And then we counter twist, exhale over towards the right hand side once again. Oops. Slowly come back to center. And we meet flat on our backs. Slowly moving towards the final parts of our class today. We have one more twist and we're going to eagle our legs. So let's bring the right knee into the chest and then eagle your legs on the right hand side over the left. You can leave your arms at your sides or take them nice and wide. Take an inhalation here. And then as we exhale, knees over to the right hand side, the left hand side as you find your twist. Oopsie. There we go. Nice and relaxed. For those of you who can't do the complete eagling of your legs, that's perfectly fine as long as we have the right knee over the left and then moving over to the left hand side. Feeling a nice gentle softness into your spine. Coming back to center, we do that on the other side. So change the interlace of your legs. We now eagle with the left leg over the right, taking the legs over to the right hand side. Feeling all of that stickiness and juiciness that we still might be holding on to into the spinal region, slowly beginning to just release. Coming back to center. And as always, just lifting all the limbs into the air, shaking it out if you like, or just holding it in stillness, whatever works for you. Just allowing for all that energy that we've created to sink back and down. Let's take a deep inhalation here. And as we exhale now into our final resting posture for today, Savasana. Heels towards the corners of the mat, palms at your sides. Let's close the eyes. Taking all the tension out of the neck and face. Allowing the shoulders to feel relaxed and soft. Hands at our sides as the hips feel weightless and released. As the legs are low and slow. Gently coming back towards our intention and placing that intention at the forefront of your forehead as we try to ignite that flame and enlighten the body to be content as we slowly relax and let go. As always, my friends, if there is a chance for you to stay within this final resting posture, you are more than welcome to. But as my time with you ends, I applaud you to have an amazing time ahead, and I appreciate the opportunity to guide you through your practice. Loka somasta sukhino bhavantu, may all beings be happy and free. Om Shanti. Namaste.